I'll deal with that in a year and all these people, yeah. This Vanderpump thing, we never talked about the finale. We saw Tom and the kids right before. We have this random, everyone used to say to me when I would go to Jersey filmings, everyone used to say to me, well, like, you're in the mix. Like, the Jen was mad at you. Margaret was this. Now you're in with Jen. Margaret's that. They're like, just go up. I'm like, it doesn't work that way. You will literally be thrown out of a film. You can't just walk up to a housewife when they're filming. They're apparently, I was wrong. Apparently, you could just pick up a chair as a random person that was invited and just throw it.
I mean, this is very strange, right? And Tom is sort of being hailed a hero. I mean, you and I trailblazed. We were fans and pushing Tom Sandoval a long time ago. I don't know about that, but this story doesn't really, I don't know. Does it add up to you? Apparently they were at some sort of like charity, not charity function, but like award show or something in San Francisco last week. They're in this ceremony, Tom's all dressed up in his tux. And then this person that just wanted to disrupt filming comes in ready to throw a chair. And Tom Sandoval stops the guy. But we don't know who he is. And then, by the way, at least as far as I've seen, there's no police call that was made, which seems a little strange. I mean, the guy is getting ready to throw a chair or potentially hit somebody, and no one's calling the police to go, hey, there's like a madman, at this event. He needs to be arrested. He's disrupted Bravo. I don't know. I mean, that seems like a little off to me, doesn't it? And then Tom's kind of a hero.
Well, there's a lot here to unpack. First of all, we have come out our good friend Billy Lee, who you met at Tom Sandoval show. Billy has come out and said apparently the person came up to her and was saying things to her. I mean, Billy Lee and Tom are very good friends. I think that's kind of why they brought Billy back into the mix of kind of like,
He needs a friend. Yeah, aside from Schwartzy. Yeah, sure.
So, right, aside from Schwartzy. And so apparently the person came up and was saying things to Billy Lee that were, listen, we have Drew Barrymore getting stalked at the New York City 92nd. Oh, right. You saw that. So, and then at her Hamptons house. So like the person came up to Billy Lee and was saying things that were not really crazy, but just things that were like personal. Like, how does this person know this much about me? And it seemed like Billy Lee said, it seemed like it was someone from her childhood, but whatever it was, it didn't seem like good intentions. And even if the person is non-offensive, if someone comes up and is talking to you about what you did in your 4th grade class, Sarah, you would be like, that was my teacher. I did throw up all over the room. Like, it's not on the internet. How do you know this? Like, it was that type of strangeness. And Billy apparently tried to avoid the person. And then I guess maybe went to her friend Tom. So there is some backstory. However, I do agree with you. All of a sudden, we're ending the season with an edit that Tom is a hero. I love Tom. You love Tom. But is this real? Is this real, guys? Or is this like, we're not firing the guy. We're not firing Ariana. We're not firing anyone. So we better figure out a way to get this cast back together. I don't know. I agree with you, Sarah. Is this real? Or is this the edit to redeem Tom Sandoval? Because we can't have another season like at Tom Sandoval and the Most Extras, right? He told us.
He said it was brutal.
He said it was brutal. So look, you did this thing and most of the season was filmed before it, season 10. Then we pick cameras back up. Season 11 is the fallout. Season 11 is your season to get punched in the face, in the gut, kicked to the curb, Tom. We can't have another season where it's everyone against Tom after this. I mean, it's not how the reality TV works. So is this the end? Is this the edit of like, we got to end on a high note for Tom and maybe somehow make him a hero for a moment? I'm not saying all these people are not booing right now and listening to this, but I agree with you, Sarah. I'm not sure. Is this set up by producers? I don't buy it.
I know.
I don't buy it.
Yeah, it seems a little coincidental. However, I like the idea of, I do agree with you, right? At some point, this Tom Sandoval is awful storyline has to go into something else, right? I mean, so we've got to find a way for Tom to be somewhat likable. And I think, my own personal theory, right, is James Kennedy, who was just so obnoxious at the reunion of Vanderpump Rules, was at Tom Sandoval in the Most Extras show. I don't know. Are James and Tom, have they reconciled? That wouldn't shock me. He
went
James
backstage. Remember when Schwartzy went? It was Allie, Schwartzy, and James. They went backstage to say, good luck, bro.
Yeah, I mean, does Tom now have an ally there? I mean, I think, and look, I mean, I don't care what people say. To me, I don't even know how the audience gets so into this. You know, they all are capitalizing. We've talked about this 1,000 times. They're all making a ton of money. I'm sure James Kennedy is smart enough to realize if we want this gravy train to continue episode, another 3 seasons, there's got to be some redeemable things about Tom Sandoval. We all have to. Yeah. I mean, I could see Kennedy kind of taking the initiative and being like, I'll be friends with him, whatever we have to do to keep this going. And if that creates a rift, and I think they're smart enough to know, like, their careers are all benefiting tenfold from this. So yeah, it's time.
And also think about it. If you think about it, look, we all have problems as adults. I don't know how. I don't know how this whole world has become high school, but we all have falling outs as adults with people. And then you block them and you don't speak to them again. Think about it. Think about who you hate right now or dislike, or just you don't have anything towards. You don't want to ever speak to this person again because you feel you did them wrong, that they did you wrong and you did them wrong. Now, if you were filming a reality show, I don't even know if it's so, I agree with you. I think it's calculated and you got to do this. But even if it's not calculated, you are physically with the person standing in front of you, and a day goes by, a week, a month, 6 months, and now the person is in your life. It's not normal. You never want to speak to this person again and vice versa. But eventually, if that happened to you, like think about someone you don't like, but now you were filming a show with them 6 months later, you wouldn't love them, but you would have some human interaction. You would have no choice. They would just be standing there. It might be a word of like, oh my God, this drink is good. It's hot out. Whatever it is, there's some closure and moving on because you are just in each other's lives. It just is what it is. It's almost like easier just to throw up your hands and say, I give in. I wave the red flag because like you're white flag, you're standing in front of me.
Yeah. Yeah. 100%.
I
Couldn't
think
agree
that's
with you
how
more.
you have all this like Margaret and Teresa and this and that. And look, there's also this other thing. So I agree with you. I'm not so sure I don't really buy it. I don't buy that this is a real thing. Again, I've been at the Jersey filmings. I mean, there's cameras around. I would have to literally push a camera out of the way and be like, I'm pissed off at Teresa and I'm inserting myself. At that point, you would be held back and kicked out. But there's no way you can just get. It's not just the camera people. There's also producers pushing you back. Like, guys, you have to back up. That's how real filming works. And you see the girls huddled around Margaret. And I mean, you don't see anyone else. It's like they literally like, please back up. So I don't see how you get from that to just throwing a chair. And by the way, it was the performance of Apples by Miss Shea. Listen, I've seen the Countess's Cabaret many times. I'm going to bet on Blonde. I've seen